So my dude's Valk here, and today I'm going to be talking about how Keqing is getting an absolutely massive buff come 1.7 and Inazuma and all that, and how Keqing's going to get ridiculously strong with the things that are coming because she works really well with the new artifact sets, a new weapon, basically everything that's coming out, not to mention the EM changes and all the electro units, cryo, etc. But you're going to want to build her more into an electro build with the sword, if you manage to get the sword that comes out with Ayaka, because it looks to be Ayaka's sword. It's called Miscutting Gleam. It's a crit damage substat sword. It makes it where you deal bonus elemental damage, and you can get up to stacks of Miscutting Elemental or Miscutting Gleam, which makes you deal even more elemental damage with a matching element as you. If you hit them with, like, there's different conditions of getting the stacks. One of them is hitting them with infused attacks. That's one of the conditions, so you can see it really only applies at that point to Ayaka and Keqing. And Keqing needed all these buffs, because if you went Electro, you wouldn't really want to use her normal attacks, because the normal attacks infused with Electro just wouldn't hit that hard. And two, physical was just boring as hell to play. So this might convince me to give a second chance to Keqing, since I won't be using the charge attack so much, and I can infuse the sword skills. I can actually infuse Electro. But then the other thing that's buffing up Keqing a hell of a lot is one of the new sets. Now, I know a lot of questions. Is the new set good for Xiao? Absolutely not, and I'll make a video explaining why it's terrible for Xiao, actually. But it is extremely good for Keqing. Keqing's one of the winners for this new set. She can use it, and I want to explain why it's so good for Keqing. So if we go to Keqing, we go to, one thing we have to keep in mind is the fact that she has a very low energy cost ult. It's basically always up off cooldown, and not to mention she buffs her own energy recharge by 15%. She's basically perma has an ult, 12-second cooldown, and then the other thing is a 7.5-second cooldown on her skill. So she's going to generate a lot of energy very, very quickly, because that's how Keqing works. Now, what was it? Shimenawa of Memories is the name of the artifact set. As long as the translation doesn't change, it probably will. But that's the name of the set right now. The 2-piece gives you 18% attack, just like Gladiator. But then the 4-piece, if the character has 15 more energy, casting elemental skill will drain 15 energy and increase normal charge and plunge attacks by 50% for 10 seconds. Now keep in mind I explained her skill has a 7.5-second cooldown, so whenever you cast it, as long as you generate enough energy particles through elemental reactions, death particles, etc., you're going to be able to perma keep this up, essentially. And you won't really have to worry too much about generating a lot of energy for ult, because you'll never have an overcap of energy due to two sources generating or sucking out your energy between the ult and the actual artifact set itself. So it is very, 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 very good for Eula. Very good for Eula. Another person who might be good with this is Yanfei. Yanfei is going to be also pretty good with the set. It's going to need some testing to see if it's better for Wondrous Troop than her. But yeah, this set is absolutely cracked on specific characters. And like I said, I'll make a different video explaining as to why it's not good at all on Xiao. It's actually really, really bad on Xiao. Especially C6 Xiao. C6 Xiao I don't think is ever going to get a set, because all of his skill comes from elemental damage. I mean, all of his damage comes from elemental skill. Brain go burr, am I right? But yeah, Keqing is going to get massive buffs coming in Inazuma. Between the new 5-star weapon, the new set. If you're not going to get a 5-star weapon, if you're free to play and you really like Keqing, then I'm sorry, but I think the set might actually be enough, to be honest. But between that, Ayaka is going to be pushed really hard with this. There's a lot of stuff, or a lot of new stuff coming out that's going to really help out the infused sword users, Keqing and Ayaka, and make them very powerful. They've also made some changes to Ayaka 2 as well. I'm going to talk about Ayaka for a second. I know this is a Keqing video, but I'm going to talk about Ayaka for a second. Ayaka got an overall animation speed up, including the dash. Now whenever she exits the dash, it's pretty much instantaneous. They took away one of the major gripes with the dash, and the fact that whenever you go out of it, you have kind of some dead frames. Like, look, let me show you. You kind of have some dead frames where you can't really do anything, and hopefully they apply that change to Mona as well, because Mona is absolutely unbearable to play whenever you do this. Whenever you pop down there, you can see it takes a second, then whenever you come out, you can't switch until that's done. This is the most unintuitive thing about Mona. If they fix that, and it looks like they fixed it with Ayaka, then the dash might be actually bearable, but that is so... That so aids to deal with in the middle of a fight, because you can use Motor's Dash to try to dodge something, you go back in for punishment, but then you're stuck waiting on the animation in the middle of a dash, and that just feels so freaking bad. So it seems like with Ayaka, they kind of removed that little buffer time where you pop out and kind of float in the air. It seems like they removed that and just sped up the entire process as a whole, which is really, 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 really good. They made... I'm making an entire Ayaka video for her. They made a lot of changes from her since her closed beta, but she's looking really good. But going back to Keqing, I think Keqing has potential now to be a really, really strong unit. I mean, she was always extremely strong. It's just now, like, before you had to choose, like, for me personally, whenever I would use Keqing, I have, before you say, you only have a level 1 weapon on her. I have a level 90 Aquila Favonia whenever I was using her. I had an actual build set up with her, a 4-piece Thunder Soother. I just swapped one piece out right now because Eula's using it because it's a really, really good piece. Probably the best Sans I've got next to the one Xiao has. So Eula was using this. I had 4-piece Thunder Soother on her, and I was going Fizz. I was using a Fizz build with Chi-Chi support, and I was murdering stuff like that, but Fizz Keqing is not fun to play. You want me to show you how you play Fizz Keqing? Let me show you real quick. Fizz Keqing is just not fun to play at all. She just feels so redundant, dude. Fizz Keqing just feels really, really unfun to play. As you can see, she's level 90. She was like I said before, I liked Keqing because she carried me at the very beginning. This is how you play Fizz Keqing. And it's just not fun at all. It honestly is not fun. Like, it's absolute terror to play like that, and I don't like it. So the fact that they're making a way for the Elemental Infusion Keqing, where you can just go mashy, mashy, mash, 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 and just have fun with it like that, and just deal a lot of electro damage very quickly. The fact that adding that in to the game through, like, artifact sets and a new... I don't really like that they're locking the damage behind a 5-star weapon, but the artifact set mostly is going to help out a ton, because that's going to be a 50% damage increase, and like I said, she basically perma-has ult because their energy recharge naturally is so freaking fast. And she has such a low ult, like, need, because it's only 40, it's one of the lowest in the game. It just makes it where she's actually a functional unit now in my eyes, and you can just pop her into, like, anything, especially with them buffing EM, and the fact that Electro can now actually deal damage in terms of EM. I haven't really tested the EM buffs too much. I'll leave that for the meta people to test, but I know that they're buffing the hell out of EM, and there's going to be all sorts of sources that it's going to let you buff it even more. If you put, like, Kazuha with her, and I've already explained how Kazuha is going to be absolutely cracked, you can buff the electro damage even more, and just buff the electro damage to hell, to the point where you're hitting diminishing returns. But by that point, if you're stacking, you're building her correctly, knowing that you're going to be hitting these diminishing returns, you're going to be able to deal some monstrous amounts of damage with Keqing, especially considering the sword and all the elemental damage you're going to be able to pump into it. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts on everything, and how Keqing's getting a massive freaking buff. Like, she's going to be really, really strong, and I'm probably going to have to redo a build for her, or farm a new set for her and give it a shot on her, give her another try. I'm actually kind of excited to give Keqing another shot, because, to be honest, whenever I played her at first, like I said, constant stamina usage, running out of stamina constantly felt really bad. But dashing and blinking like this, and doing, like, plunge setups, like, you can throw the little stiletto in an air, kind of like this. You just look up for a second, hold it, do a little plunge setup, and dive down. That was always really fun to do. And the plunge would deal electro damage as well. It was fun to do. It just, whenever I got into Fizz Keqing and it was so much stronger, and this is what the playstyle devolved into, this is not fun at all. It's really brain dead. But yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys think about the Keqing buffs in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think about Keqing becoming a really, really strong unit, potentially, with Inazuma. We won't know until we can test, obviously. I'm going to try to get the weapon. I'm going to try to test. I'm definitely going to farm up the artifact set for her and test it all out. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Keqing potentially becoming a really strong contender for really powerful DPS. Anyways, thank you all for watching. As always, I'll catch you guys later. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.